Hi guys, so I received this word yesterday, but I wanted to wait a bit. I didn't want to just jump and post this without even getting any details, but this is very direct for someone, and this is for someone that has been, completely just, you know, beating themselves down. Beating themselves down about a situation that occurred, and they're like, was I wrong, God? Did I do something wrong? Why does this person treat me like this? And God wants to confirm to you, no, this person is extremely rude. They have no manners, are extremely rude. This is why you were treated the way you were treated. This is why they react that way around you, etc., etc. It's because they are just rude. Some people are just extremely rude, and there's nothing you can do to make them, not be rude. You get what I'm saying? And there's a saying, you treat people the way you want to be treated. And even when you treat people the way you want to be treated, the most important thing is your reaction to how they respond to you. Okay, so even if you're treating someone with kindness and they're rude to you, the most important thing is your reaction to it. Do you see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, no one can make you mean, no one can make you rude, make you act out of your character unless you actually willingly allow them to push you to that extent, right? So no, you didn't do anything wrong. This person is just straight up rude. There's people like that. Like, no matter what you do, they're just rude. They always have an attitude with you. They're always rude to you, etc., etc. People are just straight up rude. And no, this person is extremely straight up rude. Okay, you didn't do anything wrong. But this is like for someone that was been beating up themselves. Because when I heard it yesterday, I heard she's rude. And I'm like, okay, she's rude. I'm like, God, let me wait and see if I can get more details on that. Because I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about, right? And I wasn't sure if it was a word for me. But then nothing really happened yesterday for me to be like, okay, she's rude. You know what I mean? Nothing happened to me. So I'm like, this must be a word for someone else. And then I instantly started thinking about gaslighting for some reason. That I'm like, even every time I think about what God said about she's rude, like for some reason I keep thinking about gaslighting. So I'm like, I wasn't sure if somebody was being gaslit, and then I got the confirmation today, like, yes, someone was being gaslit. And sometimes when you're gaslighted, it's almost like you'll sit there and you will start evaluating your week, your days, your months, your years. It's like you'll start going backwards in time to try to figure out what you could have possibly done wrong. And then you will literally start looking, you'll start nitpicking at yourself. And like, okay, maybe it's because I did this, maybe it's because I did that. No, there's just some people who are just not nice people. You don't have to do anything for them to be rude to you, anything for them to have an attitude with you, anything for them to mistreat you. Some people are just naturally like that because they have not healed. They have a lot of things they need to work on within themselves. And instead of working on these things, they go out there and just start either projecting it, or they go out there and start, pushing their anger on other people, or their attitude on other people. But no, this person was just straight up rude. Don't make excuses for someone being rude to you for no apparent reason and then try to nitpick at yourself to look for an excuse for them. That's not your fault. That's not fair to you. If someone's rude to you, that's a problem they have. That's something they have to work on. As I have a message I'm posting today, and it has to do with us being children of God, being extremely sensitive in spirit, to the point where sometimes it looks like we may have bipolar disorder, or it may look like we have mood swings because we're so sensitive. We're consistently, being affected by the emotions, and energy doesn't lie. So we can be affected by the emotions of others, or the energies of other people. Like, we can be around someone who's completely just like a negative person, and we can go from being happy to sad, and people will look at us like, oh, you're bipolar and stuff, not realizing that we're extremely sensitive in the spirit. So that's a whole nother message. But I just want to say there's a difference when being emotionally sensitive to something and responding and reacting because of it, but not being rude in a way. You get what I'm saying? Like there's a difference between, being emotionally sensitive and your moods changing throughout the day, compared to someone that's just straight up completely just rude all the time, right? So I just have to put that out there, and I just have to say that there's a difference, because the person that's questioning themselves may be the one that's emotionally sensitive in spirit. That's not a bad thing. Emotionally sensitive in spirit, because someone else was very rude to them, and they have all right to be sensitive about that because somebody was indeed rude to them and God confirmed it. But the person that's rude to them may try to make it seem like, oh, you're so sensitive, I didn't mean it like that, when all actual reality they did, right? And they try to gaslight you. But I'm going to talk about being emotionally sensitive in the spirit later, and the things that we go through being emotionally sensitive in the spirit, and how it looks on the outside to people who are not aware of the spiritual realm, or who are not as sensitive in the spirit, how it may look in their eyes compared to how we see it on our end, right? When you receive like random treatments like that, oftentimes you don't want to believe that someone can just naturally be like that. You don't want to believe that. So you start to reflect on yourself and start to look within yourself to try to figure out if you did something to cause that reaction. And then you realize you didn't, but then you still will sit there and nitpick. But no, this person's just straight up rude. Don't let people ruin your day. Don't let people try to switch up your emotions. A lot of times people know you're sensitive in spirit. They know you're very sensitive in spirit. And oftentimes they know that you get affected. And sometimes people intentionally do this stuff. But this situation, this person is just naturally just rude. She's just a straight up rude person, okay? But just when people respond like this to you and act like this to you, just ignore them. Just ignore it and just keep going. Okay, anyways, I love you guys. Bye.